allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, students. You know, last week we talked about how our bodies need food like a car needs gasoline so that we can move and think and do all the important things in our lives. So, we're going to talk a little bit more about healthy foods. How do we know what foods are healthy? Well, one thing that's easy to remember is go, slow, and WHO foods. Now, GO foods are foods that are whole foods, like fruits and vegetables in their original forms without anything added to them. Those are GO foods. You can eat those anytime and all the time. And we want you to eat lots of them because also those are the foods that have lots of nutrients that are good for your body. The WHO foods are the foods that you want to say, whoa, should I eat that? Those foods should not be eaten all the time. They should only be eaten every once in a while or on a special occasion. Okay? Now the slow foods are in between GO foods and WHO foods. These are the foods that you can have, but you only need to eat every once in a while. Okay? Some of those slow foods are GO foods that have had things added to them or cooked in a certain way that now makes them slow foods. Okay? Now, we know we want to eat 5 a day fruits and vegetables. We also need to eat things out of the protein group, like meat and beans and things like that. We want to have some dairy, but we have to be careful about our dairy because we need low-fat dairy. If dairy is high-fat food, like a regular milk, instead of a 1% low-fat milk, it becomes a WHO food. So we've got to think about those things. Also, our grain group, we need foods out of our grain group. Foods like oatmeal, those are good GO foods. But if we add sugar to it or butter to it, it becomes a WHO food. So we have to be careful. So let's take a look at some things. One thing that is a GO food is our whole grain bread. Our whole grain bread has to say 100% whole grain on it to be a whole grain bread. Okay? It doesn't have a lot of white flour or bleached flour to it. It has whole grains it's made with, and that is healthier than our white bread. Our white bread is a WHO food. We shouldn't eat that every day and all the time. Okay? Let's look at something else. You know, a salad is always good for us. It's got all our vegetables in there, and it is definitely a GO food. But we have to be careful what we put on our salad. If we put ranch dressing on our salad and it's not low fat, it becomes a WHO food very quickly. If it's a low-fat dressing, then it's in the slow food. So every once in a while, but not all the time. Okay? Also, we have an apple. An apple is a fruit. It's a whole food, and it is a GO food. And it is so nutritious and good for you to eat. But if you drink apple juice is a WHO food. Why is that? It's because juices a lot of times add extra sugar. So you have to pay attention to what's in your food and how it's prepared. Okay? So let's see another favorite. Oh, here we are. We have chicken nuggets. We like chicken nuggets, but chicken nuggets, if it's baked in the oven, is a slow food. That means you don't need to eat it all the time like a GO food, but if you fry the chicken nuggets, they become a WHO food every once in a while. Okay? The same thing with our French fries. If our French fries are baked in the oven, It's a slow food. Don't eat it all the time, but you can have it. But if you fry it, it becomes a woe food, something that you should not eat very often. Now, there are foods that you absolutely should stay away from, but every once in a while that do not need to be an everyday food. Those things are like sweet treats, like our candy bars, our cookies, or even our snacks, like potato chips. And the reason for that is these foods don't contain a lot of nutrients that are good for your body, that fill us up with fuel to be able to move and think. They can actually make us feel tired and slow, so we definitely don't need to eat those all the time. They're also high in fat, and not the fat that's good for you. So if you just eat woe foods all the time, you might have a weight problem before you know it. So we want to make sure we're eating our go foods. And lastly, we're going to look at this. Let's see. Oh, it's a cheeseburger. Cheeseburger, okay? Lots of us like to get hamburgers or cheeseburgers at the store, the restaurant, McDonald's, Burger King, or whatever, but we have to think, how was our burger prepared? So our burger, whether it's grilled or fried, is important, and also what kind of bun we have on it. Is it a whole wheat bun or a regular bun? Okay, depending on the answers to that is whether it's a slow food every once in a while or a woe food not very often. Okay, so I'm going to have some worksheets that I'm going to copy and send out to your teachers so that you can take a look at all the woe, slow, and go foods that are available. And next week we'll have a quiz on the morning message. See you next time.
Good morning. Today Toby and I want to talk to you about talking assertive. Now what does that mean? Well, we're going to tell you what being assertive means, but we're also going to tell you some other ways that we don't need to talk, and that is aggressive and passive. So when we're talking aggressive, usually we're real mad and mean and we're talking hateful, real harsh. That's aggressive, and that's not a good way to communicate. And then if we're talking passive, that's when we're real quiet and maybe our head's down and nobody can really hear us. Well, that's not good either. So let's talk about talking assertive. And that's whenever you have a strong tone, like Miss Whitney has now. And when we speak respectful, that means being kind with our words and looking the person in the eye when we're talking to them. That's the way we can communicate when we are being assertive. Having a respectful tone, being kind, and looking the person in the eye. So let's practice talking assertive. See you later.